Robbie Rob. Recently I did make a video about can you build muscle with calisthenics, and today I'm gonna break down and show you guys how you can build muscle using calisthenics. Ooh, let's go. Now, there seems to be a huge misconception out there that you can't build muscle with calisthenics. I even researched it online myself and found that people were saying that calisthenics is ineffective for building muscle. You accomplish things that you want to. And I think that comes from a false narrative, a false perception of it. Compare it to bodybuilding, right? Which is designed to build as much muscle as possible. It's always gonna be an uneven playing field. That being said, you guys absolutely can build muscle with calisthenics, and some of the things they were saying online were absolutely atrocious. They were saying things like you're gonna run out of variation, you won't be able to build muscle. They were saying after a few years you wouldn't be able to build muscle anymore. I've been doing calisthenics for 7 years. I can tell you guys right now that majority of the muscle I've built has all been from calisthenics, and you guys can absolutely build muscle with calisthenics for many, many years. I'm still gonna build muscle for many years to come, and this is how you guys are gonna do it. Now, if you guys don't know by now, when you first get started with calisthenics, you're absolutely gonna wanna learn and master the basic movements. It's gonna be pretty easy to build muscle, build strength, and see improvements when you're first starting. First few years, all you're gonna really focus on is adding in and sprinkling in a few of the early beginner calisthenics skills, but mainly getting stronger through variations of the basic movements. It's really going to be once you progress to like way many years into your journey where you're gonna have to get creative and find ways to really build muscle. 3 key ways to building muscle with calisthenics. Change the variation of the exercise. Take a basic push-up, for example. Doing a basic push-up is only going to build you muscle when you're first beginning. Over time, when you can do more than 15, 20, 25 push-ups, it's no longer gonna be an effective exercise for muscle growth. The best method you can do is find a different variation of the push-up to still work the muscles within a 8 to 12 muscle building rep range. To keep it simple for you guys, everything is built around variation. This is probably the biggest and best way to build muscle, is simply by learning and changing the variation in the exercises that you've already learned and you're already doing. So when a pull-up becomes too easy or a chin-up becomes too easy, you're gonna add different variations of that pull-up to make it that much harder. Half archer pull-ups are going to be way harder than just regular normal pull-ups. Go to full archer pull-ups and now they're extremely, extremely hard. And the 20 reps of pull-ups you might have been able to do initially, you might be lucky to do 4, even 5 of these new ones. So that's the easiest way to progress with calisthenics and still build muscle. At the end of the day, building muscle comes from training the muscles in an overloaded way. With calisthenics, you simply need to find that variation that is challenging under a 15 rep range, the same way that you would in bodybuilding by finding a weight that's challenging for under a 15 rep range for multiple sets. That's going to be step 1 to how you guys can make progress and build muscle using calisthenics. Another simple, easy way to kind of change the variation and make exercises harder or easier is by taking resistance bands and utilizing them. For instance, to make your push-up harder, you would actually do these resistance band resisted push-ups, and I can tell you guys these are much more challenging than just normal push-ups. So this is an easy way to change the variation using resistance bands. It's going to be learning things like this that really take your calisthenics to the next level and really build you that physique that you're wanting to do. Now I'm actually going to include all of the next 2 tips in one. That is how you can progress with calisthenics. Tip number 2 is by changing the angle. While this is similar to changing the variation, just changing the angle of the movement is a great way to actually change it up, hit the muscles a little differently, and make an exercise that much more challenging or easier depending on what angle you're using. For instance, a normal push-up is a neutral angle, but a decline push-up is a tilted angle, one in which makes the exercise a little bit harder and will actually target the muscles a little differently. So when it comes to building muscle and building a physique, you want to think about what area you're trying to round out and use exercises that correlate. So the decline push-up is going to target your upper chest and really bring out and fill out your upper chest to give you a look that you're looking for. The other way you can do this is by changing the tempo of the movement, and this is one of my all-time favorites. Sticking with the basic push-up here, all you guys are going to do is start to do the move more explosively. That can be with clap push-ups, Superman push-ups, behind the back clap push-ups, in 100 different variations. What this is going to do is it's going to make the exercise that much more challenging, as well as recruit your fast twitch muscle fibers. This is important for not only building muscle, but building power and strength. So by changing the tempo of the movement, you can either speed it up with the explosiveness, or you can also slow the movements down. Anytime in calisthenics you can do really slow and controlled negatives, that is also going to build the muscle, work it through time under tension, and grow that muscle in a way that's benefiting you to build muscle. So both of these put into one are two different ways that are still kind of changing the variation, but they're their own unique ways of actually building muscle with calisthenics. I'll show you guys a ton of examples of this, but basically with calisthenics, you're going to want to take the movements once again that you're already doing and just learn how to implement these techniques into those movements. Changing the angle should be relatively straightforward, and changing the tempo as well. You guys can just incorporate it into what you're already doing. Now this last tip is one that nobody tells you when it comes to building muscle with calisthenics, and that is how you can actually incorporate your skills training to not just get better at your skills, but also increase your muscle mass and work towards your muscle building and physique goals as well. The way you're going to do that is not by necessarily doing the isometric holds. Actually going to be by learning the different variations of exercises that are directly correlated to the skill you're trying to work on that still work the muscles. So let's take the calisthenics exercise you saw me do at the beginning of the video, the front lever. Front lever is a great calisthenics skill to work towards, but how you can actually turn that into a muscle building movement and can work on two things at once is by doing an exercise like reverse deadlifts. Now what reverse deadlifts are gonna do is work on your lat strength, work on your straight arm strength, work on your lower back strength, and work towards that full front lever while also keeping you in that challenging rep range, and build all of those muscles stronger and also work those muscles so that they actually grow and you can build muscle. You know, after hearing myself talk about this, I'm not even sure why this is a debate. It's relatively straightforward and simple, guys. There's no need to overcomplicate it. What works in one area is likely to work in another. We're really just applying the same principles of weightlifting to our calisthenics training. So I don't know where some of these things came from that you can't do, but taking these challenging exercises that still work our muscles, combining them to work towards our skill is a great way to actually progress with calisthenics and accomplish all our calisthenics goals. Whew. Simply put, I don't know about you guys, but I just did that one set and I can already feel my muscles getting fired up and working. To be honest, guys, this is a relatively simple, straightforward video. Building muscle with calisthenics is relatively the same to building muscle with weightlifting. It's all about finding new variations to challenge yourself in order to keep making progress. I gave you guys a bunch of stuff you can do within this video to actually start implementing into your routine and give you those ideas and give you the understanding to make the progress and build the muscle and see the results that you want. Ultimately, there are some other factors outside of training that do go into building muscle, like diet, nutrition, recovery, and you need to be on top of those things as well. And if you guys are unsure how to do any of this that we talked about today, you guys can always sign up online where I will help create a custom plan dedicated to getting you the results that you deserve to see. So check out the website, the links are in the description below. You guys, all you gotta do is place the order and I'll be in contact with you immediately to set this up and help you get the ball rolling. How you build muscle with calisthenics, we covered pretty much everything. It's a never-ending learning process that you guys are gonna wanna keep going through, to keep learning new variations, to keep challenging yourself, to find those movements that work your muscles in the best way possible. Ultimately, if muscle building is your main primary focus and you want to do it with calisthenics, you absolutely can. You just need to find the right progressions to actually shape you how you want to look and build the physique that you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Drop a comment with how much muscle mass you guys have built with calisthenics. Over the course of my total journey, I've built around 40 to 50 pounds of lean muscle mass using calisthenics, guys. I started at like 145 and I'm all the way up to 190. And at one point I was at 206 just by doing calisthenics. So I know you guys can do it. If you need help, hit me up. This has been C. Robbie Rob, and I'll catch you on the next C. Robbie Rob video.